Hello, sports fans. How you guys doing today? This is our weekly little short video that I'm gonna make, and I decided that I'm gonna do this one off of something that I've been thinking about for a while, which is how I handle my personal collection and how I handle selling things and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I think as I look in front of me right now is a bunch of cards that I'm going to bring to Rockies Fest. Most of these are all PC'd, but that's kind of why I was thinking about this. And I decided to make a video, and this is how we're gonna do this, because I handle things in multiple different facets when I look at adding something to my collection, holding something in my collection, et cetera, et cetera. And I have with me several different examples of things that I have that will demonstrate how I either add, subtract, or replace things in my personal collection. Or for the lingo, it's called PC. So if I say PC means personal collection. So how I really want to start this is I want to start with what's over my right-hand shoulder right now. This is a photo of Mookie Betts, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Andrew Benintendi from 2018, the year that the Red Sox won, the last time the Red Sox won the World Series. And this outfield was just, one of the most electrifying things to watch from not only a Red Sox perspective, but from a baseball perspective. And it's obviously, we're now 7 years later, things have changed. But I thought that this was going to be the outfield for years to come for the Boston Red Sox. And, Mookie was traded after that season and things kind of fell apart for the Red Sox. But when I looked at my collections and things that I wanted, this was on the list of things that I really wanted in my personal collection. I wanted specifically, and this is one of the things I look at. You look at things in tiers. You either want things to be added to your personal collection just from a name standpoint, or there's very specific things that you would like to get added. I have examples of this that I'll show, but this is one of them. I very specifically wanted a photo of the three of them, signed by the three of them, doing their famous pose, which is this. There's different variations of this pose, but when they'd win a game, the three of them would do a celebration in the outfield, and it became super iconic for anyone, again, that was a Red Sox fan. So I really added this. I added this to my list. This has been on my list for quite some time. I just got this. I got this within the last couple months, and this has probably been on my list of things to find for a long time. And I have one rule of thumb, really, when it comes to purchasing or looking at things that are rare and are not, there's a difference between rare and don't come up very often, because, there are cards that are not super rare cards, but they just don't come up very often because people don't think of selling them. So there's a difference between rarity and rarity of seen. And I look at it from very similar to my last video where I talked about just buy the card instead of going after searching for it in a pack. If there's something that I see that's on my list, I'm buying it. Very rarely am I looking at something that's on my list and I'm passing up on it, because a lot of it's really rare, and I don't know how and if I will ever see it again. And that leads me to, the next thing that I'll show, which is, a different tier of how I PC things, right? This is something that I have really wanted, I've been searching for, and so I added it to my personal collection. One of the things that you guys should know is I don't really do duplicates. If I get something, I'm not getting multiples of similar things. I only need one. I don't need, 6 different variations of the same thing. And, Senna, can you move, please? Thank you. My dog is needing attention because she always needs attention. But, this goes to, something that I was just saying, which is on my list, what I really wanted, I wanted a ball that was dual signed between Jackie Robinson and Pee Wee Reese. If you're familiar with baseball, there's a big connection not only between the two of them, but they're both, Hall of Fame baseball players, incredibly crucial pieces of the World Series team in 1955. And, Pee Wee Reese, obviously captain of the Dodgers, and then Jackie Robinson is who Jackie Robinson is. And I am a huge Jackie Robinson fan. And so this has been something that's been on my list. And I was able to find, it's a piece of art, but it is a dual signed ball with Jackie Robinson and Pee Wee Reese. And while there are examples of things that they've both signed, there are very few examples that I've been able to find that are just the two of them. And I saw this, last year, and I immediately bought it because I didn't think that there were going to be very many opportunities to get something that is this, which is exactly what I wanted. Dual signed with the two of them. And so I got it. And normally if I get something that I already have, I sell the other thing. What I'm showing you right now is exceptions to the rule, right? If I get a Jackie Robinson, I will most likely always keep it. I'll get different variations of very few players. Jackie Robinson would be one of the examples of an exception to the rule of where I'd get multiple versions of his autograph or multiple versions of something similar. So this is very personal to me. It's one of the first things that I ever got in this hobby that I purchased myself that was of good value and of historic meaning. This is a Negro League ball that is signed by Jackie Robinson. It is incredibly faint, the autograph from Jackie Robinson. It is not a great autograph. This ball is very rarely in public eye because of, the quality of it and quite frankly how rare it is. This ball I will never get rid of. I will keep this forever, just not only for nostalgia purposes, but it's a real, my motto at Sprague Sports is bring history home. This is as history as it gets. And occasionally I'll take it out of the case and hold it. And when I do, I get a very, emotional response to it because it means a tremendous amount to me, having something of just such importance in baseball, and not just baseball, but American history. And, something like that is irreplaceable. And so while I do have another ball signed by Jackie Robinson, I will never get rid of this ball that's from the Negro League. Will I get rid of this ball? Very possibly. I could get rid of this ball, but I think that leads to, another one of these examples is upgrading on things that you have. I love Tom Seaver. Tom Seaver is one of my dad's favorite baseball players, and I've heard so many stories about Tom Seaver with the New York Mets. And so, I have a Tom Seaver signed baseball. I upgraded this, right? I got this ball. It's been in my personal collection for a while. I know that there's a way that I can upgrade it, which I did, right? I have another Tom Seaver signed ball, but it has his number of wins on it. So to me, I don't need both of these, right? So this ball is actually for sale. You could go buy this right now. But I don't need both, right? So I get one with the intention of upgrading it at one point because I like having them in my personal collection, right? There are very few sets of cards that I collect. I collect the 1958 Topps Series. It has a lot of history to it. It's the first series of cards, I think, that ever had an insert. And what an insert means is it's a different variation from the base set. And so the example of that is this is Sandy Koufax, right? So this is Sandy Koufax's 1958 Topps card. This is the insert that comes in 1958, which is of Ted Williams, which is their all-star card. The reasoning for those inserts is the fact that Topps was able to sign Stan Musial, and Stan Musial was the last player in the all-star team from that year that Topps didn't represent. So when they got him, they were able to create a set of all the all-star players, and all the all-star players from 1958 got their own insert of a card as a result of Topps getting Stan Musial. So it's a big, big set. I love it. It's my favorite. If there's a player that you have that I like, I collect them all. I have, a lot of them. But what that leads to is it's a collection, right? I like my collection to be consistent, but I also like to have things in that collection to complete the sets the way that I look at it, and I'll replace them when I get what I want. I don't need certain grades, right? I'm not looking at this from I need all 4s, all 5s, 10s, whatever. I just want the cards, right? So it's not that hard for me to just, get them when I want them. But when you find them in different aspects, you look for the value that you can get. So, right, I like PSA, but PSA is really not, the best, or how I think is the best displayed for these types of cards. Older baseball cards, I think, are much better from SGC. So what I do is I have started, and I have, a couple up on the wall right now. I find the ones in SGC, and I then replace them with the old ones, right? So I think, Roberto Clemente. I have one of Roberto Clemente's. Don Drysdale. These are the guys that and as I say, right, this is just an A. This is an authentic, which means that it might have been an altered card. It's cut wrong. It's just not worth being graded a normal grade. And so I don't need them in a certain grade. I just like having them in the slabs for the same consistency as slabs, right? So these will be replaced with SGCs at one point so that I can have consistency across the collection. Later on down the road, will I maybe just look for 3s and consistently get 3s? Yeah, but I'm not really worried about that at this time. I'm more worried about collecting the sets and getting the players that I want. And I like to make sure that, if they do have an all-star card, I'm getting the all-star version of that card. I'm not getting the base version of that card. So, there are, as I said, there's a couple different ways that I look at PCing, and I look at, upgrading from that. Another example of that I have right here that I'll just take out is, I've been a big Paul Skeens fan for the last, year and a half, following him since LSU, and I've been really hyped on him. So last year, there was a signing, and I got, Paul Skeens. I got a Paul Skeens jersey. I really had no intention of this being more than a PC, right? I really wanted Paul Skeens. I believed in Paul Skeens. I was able to get this for relatively inexpensive for what you paid for it now. So this was mine. I was just adding this to the collection. Well, obviously Paul Skeens had the incredible year that he has had. And so I have on the way, exact same jersey, signed by Skeens, and it just has a 2024 Rookie of the Year inscription on it. So I bought this jersey with no intention of upgrading it, but because of the success of Paul Skeens and the way that he was able to just absolutely dominate baseball with, I think Paul Skeens is about to be the best pitcher in baseball. You didn't hear it here first, but, just quote me on it. And he was able to get something and do something that would eclipse what I already have. And because of that, I looked for a way to upgrade it and did a better version of what I have. This jersey, also for sale. If you'd like it, I'm basically selling it for cost. I'm selling it for cost because I was able to upgrade it for a similar cost. So if you want it, you got it. Look on my eBay page. Give me a shout on Instagram. Comment down here. We can figure it out. But I have tons of Skeens stuff. I am high on Skeens. I have a bunch of his cards. I have a bunch of his Rookie of the Year stuff on the way. I've got some game-used balls on the way. A bunch of cool skiing stuff. I'm big on him. A lot of the skiing stuff, if I could turn the camera around, is PC'd. I have a lot of stuff that I got that I'm keeping myself just because I really like him. If down the road I sell some of it, maybe, but probably not. A lot of it's PC'd. But, that leaves me to the last team and the last thing that I'll talk about, which is the last way that I really look at collecting and the way that I also incorporate my company into it is these Ezequiel Tovar bats. So we'll start with this one. So I really, I love Tovar, right? I'm a Rockies season ticket holder. I love the Rockies. They're just incredibly nice guys. They're just a team that's hard to root against. And I loved Zeke's bat. Zeke's got like a really cool bat. Just the multiple different tones in it, the way that he puts the grip on it. He changed his color. I think the color is yellow now this year. But he used the blue for all of last season with the red this is maple color barrel, gold. It's just tri-toned and it's sick. It's so fun to look at. So I bought this bat because I just kind of wanted it. And I originally thought, I'd sell it, I'd make a profit. And then I was like, no, I actually really want this bat. I wanted this bat. I figured out that there was a way I could hopefully get him to sign it. It took me almost a year. I bought this bat at the start of last year, and I didn't get it signed with him until Rockies Fest, but he did sign it, and it got done in matching gold with the rest of the colors, and it's sick. And I realized I wanted to keep this. This is something that I wanted to keep. So I tried to figure out a way that I could not necessarily cover the cost because I know that I'll take a loss for it, but, get something else that I can sell because the whole plan was to sell this, right? And so I was able to work with the Rockies and the guys that work there, and I got exact same bat, not game used by Zeke, but just it's his game team issued bat, and it's obviously signed by Zeke. And so this bat is available if you'd like to purchase it, but I just think it's really sick. It's very rare if you look at collecting memorabilia that you're able to get regularly signed, team issued, and or player used bats. They're normally something generic. They're not the exact bat that they use. I have examples of that, right, with other bats that I've gotten that are just regular bats from Rawlings or from Louisville Slugger that are not the team bat or the team issued, player issued bat. They're just, a generic bat that is signed. So this is Zeke's bat. This bat, theoretically, it's the exact same weight, cut, everything of Zeke's bat. He could have easily used this. It's got his name on there. It's got the genuine, and that's the code number for him. I love these. They're so sick, especially in the matching gold. Very rare, but that's kind of the last way that I look at things. If I end up finding something that I was gonna sell, I try to then find something else of similar ability that I can sell that would hopefully, through the connections that I've gotten and being a people person and talking to people, being able to figure out a way to then make money off of something so that I can PC, the other thing. I had a buddy over the other night that was looking at a bunch of my stuff, and he's like, why don't you sell all this? And I was like, I don't sell all of it because I look for the right time and I'm hyped on certain players, so I wait till that player's in hype. And a lot of it's PCing because I look at it from the perspective of I'm a collector. I really like collecting. I think it's so cool to have this deep collection of players and, if you know type things. I like things that other people don't have, and I like to make sure that what I bring in He's maybe not necessarily history from the general perspective of baseball, but they are from me. And, this is a great example of nostalgia and things that I care deeply about that may not matter the most to everyone else, but, as I said, they do matter to me. Last thing I'll show is just, this has nothing to do with anything else other than I friggin' love it. If there's something that I find that I think's sick, and it is related to a player that not only that A, I like, or B, I'm hyped on, I will probably get that item. Again, not necessarily with the intention of turning it around for a profit, but with the intention of, I think this player is going to be sick. And as a result of that, I want it in my personal collection, because the deeper my personal collection is, the happier I am. It just makes me happy. And one of the hypest players I'm on right now is Bobby Witt Jr. I think Bobby Witt is going to be, one of the best baseball players in the world for the next 10, 15 years. I think he's got multiple MVPs in him. Judge is a little bit older. He's about to come down. And I think Bobby Witt is about to absolutely take the AL over. And I think he's going to hopefully take Kansas City to another World Series. I think he has made many comments about all he wants is to do that. And he really puts his money where his mouth is. So this is just a sick bat. Bobby Witt has a card shop that he is a silent or not so silent partner of in Kansas City. And I got this from that shop. It is obviously in Kansas City Royals colors, and the white signature from Bobby is just unbelievable. And this is probably one of my favorite additions that I've had to my PC recently, just because, the color scheme is sick. The player in and of himself is sick. I think he's completely undervalued as a result of him playing in Kansas City instead of being in a much bigger market. Me here in Denver, I'm going to go to Kansas City this summer, and I'm going to plan my going around a game being there, and I'm going to go watch Bobby Witt and KC for the first time. I've been to the stadium, but I haven't been there when the game's on, so I'm really stoked. But this is probably one of my favorite additions that I have to my PC. I'm going to be headed down to spring training in a couple weeks. Hopefully, I'm going to have some really cool content. I'm working on it, guys. I'll let you know. I'm working on some cool stuff. If it comes out, great. If not, we're still going to have some really cool content that I'll show you down from spring training. So I'm really glad you guys joined me. Hopefully, you enjoy the show. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you on Sunday for Slabs on Sunday with comedian Dave Ordog, where we're going to be opening Topps 2025 Series 1. I got another special Bowman 2024 that I'm going to open. We're going to be talking spring training again. The weather's turning. We got some trips coming up that we're going to be chatting about. And, we're always here for the laughs. So come join us. I'm glad you guys, hope you're enjoying the channel. If you guys have any comments or anything that you guys would like to see from us, some segment that I'm doing right now that you'd like to do, I've got a couple ideas that I've got laid out over the few weeks that I'm going to add. But if there's something that people want to see, let me know, and I'll add to it. So I appreciate it, and peace.